Quitting your 9-to-5 job and trading full-time for many traders is the ultimate goal, but how do you know you're ready? So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing some key pointers that can help make this an easy decision. Now, before I get into this video, I am not your financial advisor, and by no means am I telling anyone to quit their job. Everything I'm gonna share with you was discussed between myself and my financial advisor, and this is just my personal experience of what I was instructed to do. So when it comes to quitting your job to trade full-time, it can be very stressful and uncomfortable because you're leaving a weekly or bi-weekly paycheck for a performance-based income. That means if you don't perform and you don't get results, you're not getting paid. But there are things you can have set up to alleviate that stress and position yourself to have a successful career trading. And it should go without saying that you first need to be a profitable trader and have sufficient capital to trade and receive consistent payouts before quitting your job is even considered. So the first thing recommended to me was to restructure my personal bank account. And here is how I have it. I have my primary checking account, my peace of mind savings account, my opportunity savings account, and my carefree spending saving account. The primary checking account, this is where all the income flows into, and I only keep enough to cover my monthly expenses, and the rest gets divided between the rest of those accounts. For my trading income, I have an LLC with a business bank account that all income flows into. It's taxed as an S Corp, and I pay myself a salary plus distributions, which flows into my personal checking account. And for this primary checking account, I never carry or use a debit card. So things like a house payment, a car payment are all automatically deducted, and other bills and expenses, I just use credit cards with really good incentives to accumulate points. And then I just pay the credit card bills off each month. And these points can be awesome, and they can be used for Amazon purchases, vacations, cashback rewards, or to even pay down your credit card bill. So there are lots of different options. Essentially, you're stretching your money, and at the same time, you're protecting your personal bank account by not letting your debit card numbers get out there. So next, I figured out exactly what my monthly baseline of expenses are, and then assigned a different percentage to allocate the difference into all of the other accounts. And for me personally, I wanted the peace of mind savings account topped off as soon as possible. So at first, there was a much bigger percentage flowing into this account. This is typically 6 to 12 months of living expenses, no less than 3 months. And I like to use a high yield savings account like Capital One 360 Performance for this account because it will earn really good interest. So let's say if 30% of your income goes to cost of living, you could have 40% go to peace of mind, 20% go into the opportunity fund, and 10% into carefree spending. For me personally, I like to have 12 months or more of living expenses in this peace of mind account because I am the head of the household. My girl, she doesn't work. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and we have a baby boy on the way. So the stakes are much higher for me. How much you want to keep in your peace of mind fund and how much your monthly income is will really determine how fast you will start filling up all these buckets. And this peace of mind account, it's in the name. It will give you peace of mind so that you can continue to perform on the charts without worrying about your expenses. And once you get this bucket filled, the spillover should then be focused on getting the opportunity fund flush. This is an account used for investments, buying funded accounts, real estate, things of that nature. The most important thing is that you have bullets locked and loaded in case you need to replace a funded account that you lost without tapping into your peace of mind fund. So for example, if you get funded and you receive your first payout, your refund should go directly back into this opportunity fund. In the last account, carefree spending savings account. This is guilt-free spending on things that don't yield a return. So cars, clothes, watches, sneakers, etc. And this really helps me be responsible with my money and my spending. So when I recently recently purchased Katie a car, it was from this account. I would never reach into my peace of mind fund and put it at risk because I wanted to buy something that will depreciate in value and never yield a return. And having your accounts structured this way and all of the buckets full, you're halfway to being able to quit your job and trade full time. The next thing we need to discuss is your trading capital. So a big KPI you need to pay attention to is your average monthly return percentage. And this should ideally cover 2 times your monthly living expenses. So for example, if your living expenses are $5,000 a month, and let's say your average monthly return is 10%, you should be trading enough capital that can yield at least $10,000 for that 10%, which would be around $100,000 or $120,000 if you're trading with a prop firm, getting 80% of the profits. If you're trading a $50,000 account and you do 10%, yes, you'll have enough to cover your cost of living, but you won't scale because everything you make is gone. Trading is a beautiful thing because you don't need to do more or work harder to make more money. You just need to scale the trading capital so that you can increase the value of your monthly return percentage. And you should really be focusing on widening the gap between what comes in and what goes out of your bank account. A lot of traders don't think about it this way from a business perspective and see some money come in, maybe hit a few payouts and think that they're ready to go full time as a trader. And a lot of people are also not used to seeing 5-figure months and naturally want to go buy stupid shit. So as your income increases, it's important to keep your spending the same so that you can widen the gap of your income versus expenses and start filling up the bank account buckets, which will dictate when you can spoil yourself. The next thing, and easily one of the most important pieces to this, is your capital reserve. So I would recommend having minimum double what you need on deck. So what I mean by that is using the previous example of having $120,000 in funded capital, you should have at least $240,000 in funded accounts, half of which is not being traded and acting as a safety net. This way, if something were to ever happen to your primary trading account, and it will, it doesn't put your trading to a stop. More importantly, it won't stop your income because you'll have a backup account ready to go. The last thing you want to be doing is trading with all your capital, get into trouble, lose the only funding that you have, and need to spend the next 2 to 4 weeks taking challenges to try and get it back. When you have reserves, and if you lose an account, you swap in the backup account, and at the same time, you tap into your opportunity savings account and start a new challenge so that you can restore your backup account. Most prop firms will allow you to trade up to $600,000 in capital, and some prop firms like the Funded Trader will let you hold up to $1.2 million in funding total. So if you scale up to $600,000 in accounts, and I know you may be tempted to trade it all at the same time knowing what 10% could pay you, but trust me, shit happens and you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket. So let's recap. So first, you have your personal bank account structured in a way for you to save, protect, scale, and spend responsibly. Next, you have enough capital that can cover your living expenses and get you ahead, and you have backup trading capital so the engine never stops running. Quitting your day job should never be a matter of opinion. You need to have a structured game plan and a system to position yourself for success. If you got value from this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want personal coaching to help you get in a position to actually quit your job and trade full time, check out the links in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.